How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So on this video, I'm going to be going over my personal recommendations for maintenance on Honda and Acura vehicles. I've been doing this for 15 years now in this manner, and it's rewarded my customers with a long-running, reliable vehicle. For the most part, obviously stuff happens. If you're getting to the game late, then the damage could be done already, especially once you get into some of the fluids. So with that being said, I know some of this might be aggressive for you guys, but I'd rather do it aggressively now and pay a little bit more now than have to pay down the road because you didn't maintain the vehicle properly and something catastrophic may happen. So very basic stuff here, guys, nothing crazy. But a lot of people ask me this question, so I figured why not make a video about it, and I feel like this will help a lot of people. And I'm gonna be trying to make as many DIY videos for fluids and general maintenance for all you DIYers out there. I know there's plenty of you guys and gals as well. So we'll start with wipers. I like to change my wipers once a year or every 12,000 miles or so. I even do it on my own car every 6 months. What's nice about Hondas and Acuras, you can buy just a rubber insert and they're a few bucks versus having to buy a $20 or $30 or $40 blade for each side. So very simple. Filters, cabin and engine air, same thing, once a year, every 12 to 15,000 miles. Obviously, if you're in an area where there's a lot of dust and debris or anything like that, you're gonna be on the aggressive side of like 10,000 miles. If you know, you're a normal person and you just commute to work and stuff like that on the highways, every 15,000 miles will probably suffice. Rotation, every other oil change, even if it doesn't need it and the tires are both 7 front and rear, for instance, you're going to want to rotate them anyways. If you leave them in the back for too long, they're going to start cupping, which is an uneven wear, kind of like a surf wave kind of a wear, and they're gonna make a lot of noise. They won't do any damage or anything like that, but it will be noisy, and most people mistake that for wheel bearings, and obviously that's not the case. That's just tires that weren't maintained properly. Also, make sure you inflate them at every oil change and every time that you do rotate them, and set the TPMS light, as these cars are indirect system, most of them, and every time you adjust the tire pressure or rotate them or anything like that, you do need to reset the system. Now, oil change, a lot of different, you know, people have different opinions on this. On my personal cars, I do every 3,000 miles. On my TLX Type S, I, you know, drive it fairly hard, so I'm vigorous on that. Every 3,000 miles, I don't go past it. On the wife's Pilot, maybe I'll stretch it 3,500 or so. Not as much aggressive driving, so doesn't take as much of a toll on the oil as well. 3,000 to 5,000 miles, I don't care what the maintenance minder says. I don't go past that. And you shouldn't either, because the maintenance minder is very laxative on in general, and I just don't agree with it. So again, if you're watching this video, it's probably because you care about maintenance and you should be on the more aggressive side. If you want to change when the maintenance light comes on, then by all means, go right ahead. But this is going to be what I recommend once again. Transmission service. Now, this is another if you want that people get all weird about. 6AT Honda transmissions do not go anything but 15,000 miles. That includes Odysseys, some of the Accords, Cross Tours, stuff like that, ridgelines. They burn the fluid very quickly, so they just need more maintenance and other fluid. So 10AT, CVT, you could probably push to 30,000 miles. Again, if your car's modified or you're driving it hard, whether it's modified or not, every 15 to 30, you got to kind of gauge and be honest with yourself. You know, you drive your car hard, it's going to need more maintenance. That's just what it is. Now, if you're on a highway, cruising at 65, 70, and you don't drive it hard, then you could probably go to 30,000. I wouldn't go anything past that. So to recap, 15,000 miles if you're driving it hard, if you have a 6AT. And if you're not sure if you have a 6AT, just drop a comment down below and with your vehicle information, and I'll be able to tell you for the most part. So 6-speed, 10-speed, 9-speed found in the Pilots and some of the Acuras as well. You're going to want to do every 30,000 miles. The 9-speed ZF stuff is very expensive, so I get if you want to wait till 30,000 miles. On the Honda side, we don't really see any issues. I know the Acura guys don't really like those transmissions. but I don't really see any issues. The most issues we see is the 6-speed transmissions. CVTs, hit or miss, pretty reliable, but 15 to 30,000 miles on the most part, you're going to be able to do every 30,000. If you drive hard, every 15. Rear differential. First one's going to be at 7,500 miles. After that, every 30,000. What I like to do is first one 7,500, then at 30, you're going to do it a little bit early the second time, right? Because 30,000 would have been 3,750. But 30,750, although it gets confusing. So 7,500, 30,000, 60,000, 90,000, and so forth. Just makes it a little bit easier to remember, unless if you're jotting this stuff down or you're going to the dealer, they're going to have your records for you. So, but just easier for overall. So front differential, not much happening there. There's no clutches or anything like that. I'm okay with that one every 30 to 45,000 miles or so. Again, any of this stuff, if you're driving the car aggressively or it's got added power, definitely on the aggressive side. Front differential, 30 to 45,000 or so, maybe even 60. I'm okay with it. Once again, not much happening there, but you do need to maintain it. Coolant, every 45 to 60,000 miles or like 3 to 5 years, something like that. Honda coolant holds up really, really well, and it's just doesn't really go bad or anything, but you're going to want to do it. And 45 to 60,000 miles is my recommendations. What else we got? We got brake fluid every 2 years or 30,000 miles. Now, if you're tracking the car, you should do it every couple events or maybe even after every event. Obviously, if the fluid's getting hot, you gonna want to upgrade to even like a .4, just a little bit higher, increased boiling point. But if you just do some spirited driving, every 2 years, 30,000 miles, at worst. So spark plugs every 90,000 miles. This is stock cars, 90 to 100,000 stock cars. If your car's tuned, once again, you're going to want to be a little bit more aggressive. You're probably going to want to change the temperature of the plug and stuff like that. But 90,000 miles for the average person is about right and okay in my book. Drive belt every 5 years to like 90,000 miles, 75 to 90,000 miles. And take a look, you look down, you see the belts getting discolored. Some of them have wear indicators. So if it's past the wear indicator, or if you see some cracking or some glazing, then you're going to definitely want to change it early. But start looking at it around the 5-year mark, or 60,000 miles, and kind of gauge it from there. Timing belt, if your car's equipped with the timing belt, you're going to want to do it every 90 to 100,000 miles or 7 years or so, which is about average. Hondas don't really have a reputation of snapping too many timing belts. We see like maybe 2 a year, and we work on probably 10,000 cars in that span. So that's a really good average in my opinion. So you're going to want to just keep an eye on it around 7 years or 90,000 miles. Start looking at it, start thinking about it, start planning. Either you're going to get rid of the car, or you're going to prepare to spend the money at this point to maintain it properly. If you have a V6, you're going to want to take a look at the oil pump. It might be time to also do the reseal on that. That is a fairly common issue. I do have a video on that somewhere in my channel. Last but not least, PCV valve, maybe every 45 to 60,000 miles. If you change it earlier, it's not a big deal. It's fairly inexpensive. So I'd be okay with doing it every 30,000 miles as well. And all this stuff is maintenance and guaranteeing that you get that extra feedback from your car, and your car 9 out of 10 times is going to reward you with obviously a great experience. So not that, there can't be an exception to the rule, but for the most part, if you maintain your vehicle and you're on the aggressive side, I think that most times you will get rewarded. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. Let me know if I missed something you want to know about. Just ask me in the comments down below. If you have a specific question for your car, then feel free to ask that as well. I'll be happy to answer it for you. With that being said, I'm gonna end the video right here. Please like, comment, and subscribe.